Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, make sure that you like, make sure that you subscribe. If you're joining me on Facebook, continue to like the page, continue to follow what we're doing. We really do appreciate all the connectivity that we're getting over there. If you're joining me on Twitter, you've been down since day one, 10 toes. I appreciate it. Shout out to my boy Malik Span of Blitz Magazine. You know, tough loss last night, my guy. I ain't even going to get on it. Except for, you know, there's a thing called winning time. I know that Reggie Miller was in the building last night for the Nets and the Sixers when James Harden passed him for most threes, you know, in a game. I mean, most threes in a career, I believe. And that's cool. Like Reggie Miller has really embraced people passing him, and that's really dope to see. So you know, it's good when stars of the past embrace what the stars of today are doing. I really do think that it helps the game. It definitely doesn't hurt the game for sure. I think that it helps the game. So that was dope to watch. But it was an interesting game because you know the Nets, and while some people would say, well, the Nets needed that game, like in reality, at this time of year, everybody needs every game because this is winning time. This is the time when in the year for the NBA, this is the time in the year for college basketball, this is the time of the year for high school basketball. This time of year is the time of year where you may have to win in order to prolong your season. And it's interesting, or this is the time of year where you have to win because you want to better your position. And that's where the correlation is in life. Because in life, we're always given these moments, right? In life, we're given these moments where you can be like moments where if you succeed, then things progress forward at a faster pace. And if you don't succeed, it doesn't mean that things won't progress forward eventually, but it knocks you back. And we've all had those times where this is the case, right? We've all had the times where we get that moment, and it's, are we going to capture that moment, or are we going to, you know, not take advantage of the moment? That's winning time for us in life. You've got that test coming up, that's a certification test. And you know that you need that certification in order to get that job and or get that promotion. And so you go about doing the things that you need to do in order to, you know, pass that test, to pass that exam for that certification. But what if you don't pass? It doesn't mean that you would never get that promotion, but it does mean that in that moment, you're probably not going to get that promotion. So you take a step back, or you stay stagnant, you don't move forward. That's winning time. I've heard stories of people who've taken exam and test, whether it be the bar, whether it be a teacher certification test, whether it be something in the medical field, where they don't pass the first test. And they may not pass the second test or the third one, but eventually they pass that test. And then they're able to move forward. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm pretty sure every single one of them would tell you that they would have liked to have passed those tests the first time, because every time they don't, it just stops the growth. Like, it doesn't allow you to move forward. I shouldn't say growth. It stops the progression, right? You're not able to move forward. We see it a lot in sports. In these NCAA conference championships, conference tournaments, you see teams who need to win, winning. Then you see teams who would improve their stock if they won, lose. And you're like, well, man, they're not getting it done on winning time. I think about Iona and how dominant Iona has been all season. And for them to get into their tournament and all of a sudden get beat by a team that they were superior to all season, that's tough. Because now there's a pretty good chance that Iona's not going to get into the tournament. Because usually the MAC, the MAAC, is a one-team, maybe two-team league, depending upon how strong the league is. But you can never count on it being multiple teams. You can never rely on that. You have to get the job done in the tournament to secure the automatic bid. Now, if you're talking about the ACC, if you're talking about the Big East or the SEC or the Big 12, then you know what? Winning that tournament's probably not going to matter in the grand scheme of things. You're probably going dancing. And if you won the tournament, it may have increased your seeding by like a seed. It might take you from a 9 seed to an 8 or a 7 seed. It might take you from a 2 seed to a 1 seed. But we're talking semantics at that point, right? Because there's really no big difference in between those. But what about the team that makes the run to the title, who probably would not have gotten in without the seed? I mean, without the title. Those are people who get it done during winning time. Last night, the Philadelphia 76ers had a chance to get it done during winning time. Now, again, people will tell you that it didn't matter, right? They'll downplay the significance of that game. But I remember when the trade was made, and if you guys remember and you watched you listened to the Gene Therapy podcast, I pointed to this date. I pointed to this game versus the Nets because up until now, the 76ers have been, since getting James Harden, have been playing teams who are not really that great, who are not going to be factors in the playoffs, right? And now they face the Nets. Now, whether you believe the Nets are going to be a factor or not because of the Kyrie Irving situation doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter what you think, right? They're a factor. Doesn't matter if you think so or not. They're going to make a difference. They're going to move the needle. And so when you get a chance to go against a really good team with two really good players and you lay an egg, and the guy that everybody's been talking about how he's going to be the difference comes up small, while the guy who's been the consistent there the entire time continues to ball out, that's a problem. The process is not enough. He has proven that. He is not enough. He needs help. Just like everybody else in the NBA needs help, he needs help. So then when your number two guy, a guy who believes he's a number one guy, gets you minimal points, minimal assists, lots of turnovers, that's not a recipe for success. It's not a recipe for success. And so the opportunity there to show what you can do, the opportunity there to advance forward, the opportunity there to announce your presence with authority. That winning time was wasted. Now, does it mean that they cannot advance? Does it mean that they cannot move forward from there? No, but it does mean that they're in a holding pattern right now, because now I don't care what they do versus teams who are not good. I can care less what happens to them versus teams who are not good. Now, all I care about is what they do when they play a good team. That's it. I don't care about anything else. Don't talk to me about beating the Pistons. Don't talk to me about blowing out the Detroit Pistons. I don't want to hear about what you did against Houston. None of that. None of it matters anymore. Call me when you're playing Milwaukee. Call me when you're playing Boston. Call me when you're playing Miami. Call me when you're playing the Nets. Because those are the only people who have a chance to win the East. Get out of here with that bull stuff. They don't win in winning time. Look at their record versus winning teams. In winning time, they don't win. So we don't have to talk about them. It's cool. Atlanta, nah. New York, nah. Washington, nah. Indiana, nah. We don't even have to talk about the West Coast. Why? Because they're not in the West. They're in the East. They have to go through the East. It's winning time. So when we look at what they're doing and we look at what they have going on going forward, where are we going to see them start to excel at? Where are we going to see them raise the bar? Last night wasn't it. Your favorite college basketball team right now has either played a game or will play a game that's going to make a difference in their life, in their immediate, athletic life. You have probably played in or done things recently that's going to affect your life. What do you do in winning time? How do you perform in winning time? Do you get it done? That's what you have to ask yourself. Do you get it done in winning time? And sometimes it means that in order to progress, you may have to take that step back. Maybe Philadelphia needed to lose in order to see where their deficiencies were, make adjustments, and then come back later. Maybe you had to not get the qualifying score on that exam, because then it opened up some deficiency that you may have had that you knew you had to work on. Now you worked on it and it made you better as you went forward. Sometimes maybe it's just dumb luck. Whatever it might be, the opportunities that come at winning time, we must take advantage of. That's how we make the fastest ascent. That's how we make the fastest ascent, right? That's how we ascend the fastest. It is through the winning that we ascend the fastest. And it's not always every win, because some wins are meaningless. And then some wins have very little impact. But the times where the win is absolute and necessary, because it sends a message, because it allows you to make that leap, when those wins happen, we got to have them. in life and in sports. I like to give a big a big good luck out to the Windsor Forest High School boys basketball team as they go for the championship. Represent Savannah well. Do your thing. Move with purpose. Walk in with a swagger. Come home with the chip. Everybody here is proud of you. Everybody here is rooting for you. You don't have an entire city on your back. You have an entire city that's pushing you forward. So go out there and do the thing. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. We do this thing a few times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, on Facebook, on Twitter, you know what to do. Subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Make sure you check out, by the way, the live spoilers reaction show that I did with my man Clep CX last night on his YouTube channel, Clep CX. Make sure you check that out. Make sure you check out the Gene Therapy podcast that'll be dropping today, the Gene Therapy column dropping today, talking about speed and the NFL Combine. I'll be dropping a second Gene Therapy podcast as well this Sunday. So make sure you check that out as well. Until next time, peace.